In this example, we're going to use trig to find the volume of a cone because we need to use trig to find the radius of the base. So this radius right here, which is the radius of the circular base. So I'm going to write down the formula. I'm going to write down a couple things, and then we're going to break down what we need. So we know that the volume of a cone or a pyramid is going to be the area of the base multiplied by the height. And in this case, that height is the distance between the vertex and the base. So that right there is my height, okay? Divided by 3, because it is 1/3 of the volume of a cylinder. So what we can do then is we can break this down. So the base is a circle. So we have a circle base. So we know that the base is going to be equal to the area of the circle, which is pi r squared. So we need the radius. We have the height, that is 11. So let's find that radius. And we need to use trig to do that. So if you can see here, we have a right triangle. And that right triangle is the height, the radius, and then this slant distance. So I'm going to pull that out just so it's easier for us to see. We have 11. We have r, which is what we want to find. And then we are given that this angle right here is 58 degrees. So if I want to find r, I have the opposite, which is 11. I have the adjacent. So again, this lesson is not on trig. It's using trig to find missing pieces. So if I have the opposite and the adjacent, I have to decide what trig function I'm going to use. So in this case, it's going to be tangent. But just be careful. Sometimes you might be given this hypotenuse length. So be aware of what you have and make the decision of what trig function is going to be. So the tangent of an angle is equal to the opposite over the adjacent. And the tangent of theta, in this case, which is 58, is equal to the opposite, which is 11, over the adjacent, which is r. So then we do our rearranging here, and some people do cross multiplication. Some people just multiply both sides by r. Again, this lesson is not about trig. It's about using trig to get there. So I'm just going to multiply both sides by r. They cross out. So I end up with that r tangent of 58 is equal to 11. I'm going to divide both sides by tangent of 58. So I have that the radius is equal to 11 divided by the tangent of 58. So now I need to use that in my circular area. So B is equal to pi times 11 tangent of 58 all squared. Okay. I'm going to leave it like that, and I'm going to put that whole thing into my volume formula. I'm just going to leave that squared. Okay. So I end up with that the volume of the cone is pi times 11 tangent of 58, or not times, I'm sorry, divided by, squared, times the height, which is also 11, and that is all divided by 3. So I'm just going to I'm going to combine some things. So on my calculator, I'm using the pi button, okay? But I'm first going to do parentheses, and you should be doing this along with me. Parentheses, 11 divided by tangent of 58, and you have to close the parenthesis for the angle and then close the parenthesis for the whole thing. And then you are going to square that. Now, you should be doing this on your calculator. So what do you get? You should get 47.2458. I'm not going to write that down, okay? So I'm going to say that again, 47.2458. That's the value you should have in your calculator. I'm going to multiply So that's this value right here. I'm going to multiply that value times pi. So I'm going to go times pi on my calculator. You should by now know where the pi button is. And I'm also going to times it by 11. And on your calculator, okay, so we're learning to use our calculator as well, not just about this answer. So you should be doing this on your calculator. You should get that answer is 1,632.69994. That's still all divided by 3. So if we break these down into individual steps, and we're double checking ourselves, and we make sure we know how we're doing this. So you should have gotten that on your calculator. And now you can go divided by 3. And the final answer of the volume of this cone should be 544.233 inches. And we know that volume is cubed. So again, make sure that you can get all of those values as I did.